Hi everybody. So I'm working on the. I'm getting a shaft again. And I don't like getting a shaft, but I had to use a little skill. I don't know what put my mind to doing this, but so we got the shaft out. Zero, no problem. Sort of. So what I was showing you in the beginning is you got a long bolt that goes through this way. Now I showed you on the other side, if you watched the older videos, this has to go through this way and hold the spindle on it. Hold on. Here's your spindle right here. I mean your wheel bearing. And this one's tight too, and it's non-greasable, and it's fine. I'll clean it up a little bit and put it back in. So these bolts, this goes here, and these bolts go straight through. You have to take the spindle out to get the axle out. So what I did, one other thing, before I show you this. So this is a backing plate on drugs. That's rust. That's no good. So let's put that in the parts of shame. That ain't no good. That ain't going back on because that's just going to interfere and make all kinds of problems. So get rid of that first thing. Put your bearing to the side. I got to put it over here. I don't want to get rust all over it. So what I did is I took a 13 millimeter socket and I hammered it on. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just a 3/8 13 millimeter socket. Hammer it on with a hammer. It grabbed, there's no threads left. I mean, there's not much of a bolt head that'll grab on. You try to do is strip it out. So you hammer this sucker on, you put a 3/8 wrench on it, crack. I said, nah. Number two, I did the same thing. I had to go through a lot of sockets. Do not use a 12 point, use a 6 point. Take the same thing, slam it on. Went on, no problem. So I'm running out of sockets. And I'm like, all right. So I tried to use a 13 millimeter long. Yeah, so the 13 millimeter long socket, it spreads. I'm like, yeah, it's starting to slip. So got the old 1/2 inch drive out. Now remember, I got quality tools. That's everything is Craftsman there where I'm banging on. Now Craftsman, not that good. Did the job, no heat. Industrial. This is commercial Craftsman. This is not the cheap stuff. Here's my 1/2 inch drive. So I did it on the last one. It was a little more complicated. And if you look up top there, let me put a light on the subject. And here's the bolt here. I ran a 1/2 inch socket. I slammed it in. The thing is, I had to, let me put some lower light. So what you see there is I couldn't get a clean shot. So I turned the steering wheel all the way to the right, like I was making a right turn, Clyde. All the way to the right. I slammed a 1/2 inch socket on there. I went, I don't know. No problem. Cracked it off. The only thing is, I brought it back and I didn't feel like taking the socket out, so I left it here to drive the shaft straight out. This rust out of there. I gotta get that rust out. I gotta vacuum that rust out. So after I was all done, I'll bring you over to the shaft. So we're over here at the shaft. Where the hell did the shaft go? Oh, shaft's not there. Shaft's over here. So what I did is I brought the shaft down to my parts washer. I put it in the parts washer. After I wire wheeled it, I'm trying to get the universal to work pretty good. So it's actually freeing up pretty nice. I don't think there's any way to grease this one. I don't see a grease fitting there. I don't see a grease fitting there. I don't see a grease fitting there. And I don't see a grease fitting there. There's no internal grease fittings either. So what we're going to do is not replace the joint. I just keep putting the joint in there. Turn the pressure on, the parts washer on with clean fluid. Going through and just cleaning it up. While I'm cleaning it up, I'm just moving it around. And this joint was a little solid, going up and down, which I don't think is going to make much of a difference. Look at that. There we go. Yeah. this way is nice. That would be your chunk. Remember, you gotta go this way. So after you're done with that, soak it again. Shoot, that stuff stinks. I gotta change that fluid one day. So there's where I'm at. Working on the joint. Working on my joint today. Worked on the shaft, worked on the joint. I didn't work a joint. I don't smoke weed and stuff like that. I don't care if you do. Don't bother me. I don't like the smell though, man. That stuff stinks, man. Hey, you walk by somebody, I'm like, dude. I don't say nothing. It's their own personal thing, but dude, get an air freshener and put it on your freaking beak. You stink, dude. If you need to calm down, which most of those people, they smoke because they're intense. They're not calm. They're the opposite. That's what happens, man. You need to smoke down because you're so intense. That's besides the point. So I gotta find some kind of lubricant, some WD-40 or that other stuff. I don't ran out of everything. I gotta go get a can. Oh wait, I have stuff. I have stuff in the shed. I gotta go grab that in the shed. So that's that, and that's what you're gonna do is I get rust in my mouth. So when you're all done with that, just keep lubricating. You can't take it apart. Don't change the joint. And then what you do is just grab grease. Just throw grease in there. Just keep doing the same thing. It's gonna try to get into the needle fittings. Even if you take a gun, a grease gun, and just try to jam grease in that without taking the U-joint. You don't have to replace the U-joint if it ain't bad. Remember, this is a budget setup. It's very easy to take the shaft out, and then we're gonna slap on that ring. Remember, the ABS ring, I'll show you that. After it's all greased up and then decreased, you don't want grease everywhere because then you're gonna have grease flying everywhere. And then guess what? It's gonna hit the ABS ring, it's gonna go on the sensor, it's not gonna get a signal. So we're gonna run the new ABS ring. Another 50 bucks. So there it is right there. This one is just gonna tap it on and be done. Tap it on, slot the shaft in, put the spindle back, put the wheel bearing back in, rotor, and then the caliper, and then the wheel. Of course the wheel, then go for a ride. So we're working on it. This one was much easier than the other side. The other side was pretty bad. The other side we had to do a U-joint. You had to take it in and off. That was really wiped out. So then when you're all done with this, I chipped everything off. I took a wire brushed it off. Since everything's apart, it's a lot easier to get to everything. So hold on. I'll bring you over here. And while it was all apart, let's see, go up here. I just took a chipper hammer from a welder and I kept just hitting this. I'm chipping all the years of behind the backing plate and get most of it off. When you're all done, kind of bring it down, go on the other side, chip the most of it off, then wire brush it off like that. You don't even have to remove the sensor. Got a little grease on it, but that's it. And then make sure you get no rust inside the differential. I should have put a rag in here. Let me put a rag in there. Just grab a rag and put it in the differential so you don't get more rust in there. I already got to get some of it out. Make sure you don't jam that axle. Make sure you don't jam that shaft in there with that rag in there. I killed myself. Don't do that. Because what happens is you get the rag all the way in the differential, you get it in the rear, you get the rag in the rear, and you mess the rear up. If that makes any sense. Trust me. I seen a guy What he did, I'm trying to come back to normal. What he did is he was doing an intake manifold. His name was Jeff. So he does the intake manifold, and he starts it up and it runs really bad. I'm like, dude, what'd you do? He's like, I don't know. I said, I don't know, take it all apart again. Huh? You must have screwed something up. It was a 370 Ford motor, 2-barrel carbureted. And you used to blow out the intake gaskets all the time, and you had to take the heads off and send out the heads. We had a spare set, put them on. It was a freaking 2-3 day job, taking the heads off. But it was cheap, but a lot of labor. So he left all the rags so it didn't, all the debris didn't go in, and then he put the intake right on top of it. And then, and guess what? All the freaking rags went right into the combustion chambers and pistons, and I was like, dude, you screwed up. So he had to take it all apart. I don't know. I don't remember if he fixed it or what. But that's that. So this is all this. When you're all done chipping, prime it up, paint it up, and then put it all back together. That's pretty much it. So that's it for now. And that ABS ring is going to go back on soon. Keep on watching, everybody.